Hey there, freaking awesome people. Winnie here from Mind Now, and welcome back to Inspirational Mind, where we break down channels, interview people to gain their perspective on how you can gain self-confidence and self-esteem, especially as an introvert. But hey, don't shy away if you're an extrovert, because the world needs you. And today we have a special guest. It is Genadi. I am so great. I'm happy that you are here. I hope you're also excited, brother. How you doing?
I am. Thank you. Thank you for having me firstly.
Of course, man. You're a VIP. You're on a special show. It is the Winnie Inspirational Mind Show. All right, so let's get right to it, man. As you know, my channel is all about self-confidence, self-esteem. So I want to ask you, how do you actually gain self-confidence and belief in yourself?
How do you gain self-confidence and believe in yourself? I think the biggest thing about confidence, there is a little misconception about confidence. That's first thing that's what avoid people from having confidence from the get-go. Now, the definition of confidence is a belief, a trust in ourselves that we will be okay no matter what. Somewhat, that's the definitions of confidence. And a lot of people, I believe, and that's how I was believing and thinking of confidence, is we get stuck so much in, like, when we watch the movies and we look at the movies like James Bond, and James Bond always get stuff right, what he says, how he do things, he looks, his movement. So people think like a confidence is like everything's gonna be beautiful, perfect, no mistakes, nothing, not embarrassment, not failures. Everything is like bam, you just try and bam, like everything just go perfectly. You try to open a business, bam, successful. You try to do something, you go on a stage, do public speaking, bam, perfect, you are the man. Every move, everybody like, oh yeah, look at this guy, confident. so that's the biggest like like mistake how people go about confidence. And I learned from a first hand. I'm like, okay, I knew growing up I was not a very confident person, so I was very shy out. I become like very shy, kind of what we call introvert. I will never speak out. So how you gain self-confidence? Firstly and mainly, it's the we need to start with the self-beliefs. Kind of look at how we approach the whole conversation about confidence. Because confidence is the belief that we will be okay no matter what. So example of that, when I started doing public speaking, and my belief about public speaking was, okay, if I will go on a stage and I will speak in front of people and it will go weird, I will die, or something will bad happen to me. Like there is something will happen to me. And that's how I went to the first time to actually do public speak. I was shaking. My mouth got dry. I couldn't think. My mind got so blank, and it was so weird for me. And when I was speaking, it actually went weird. But what I discovered is at the end, I was okay. Nothing bad happened to me. I was the same me. I have the same face. My hands. I looked in the mirror. Everything is the same. So how to get confidence and self-belief is actually by going and firstly seeing, proving ourselves that nothing bad happened if we go and try things. And gaining confidence is a lot of time by repetition. Is by the weight of the self-belief that we will be okay. At the beginning, I didn't believe I would be okay. I went and I proved myself that I am fine, and still my lack of my belief from the past so heavy that something's gonna happen, it was always kind of taking me down and trying to avoid me from taking action inside of public speaking and other areas. And as I kept going, so like for example the weight thing, at the beginning the weight was very heavy on, like something bad would happen if I will go for what I want, and I try, and as time go by and I take more actions, the weight started changing. And eventually now I'm like, I know everything is fine. Even if I fail and I look bad and I embarrass myself, I'm still fine. So that's kind of my new way of looking at confidence. It's not about the results, because people a lot of time, and I was the same, I was very, very dependent on the outcome, on what would happen from my actions. And if it's not going to be magical like James Bond doing, then it's bad, and my confidence, I think like my confidence is bad. But nowadays I know that it's not about the results, it's about me going for it, knowing that it's okay to fail, it's okay to look bad, I'm okay with whatever people think about me. I'm still doing it. So just knowing that I can simply physically produce an action. So for example, public speaking, I can physically walk. I have legs, I can physically walk to the stage. I have a mouth, I can open my mouth, say blah 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 blah, and sit down, walk back to my chair and sit down, and I will be fine as a human being, as a person, as a physique. So really that's all what confidence is, knowing that you can go for it and you will be okay no matter what. Right? So it's just like really a practice of that. When I kept practicing, and I saw, okay, I did a lot of good jobs as public speaker and as other areas of my life, and sometimes I failed and I did terribly, and I was always still the same and fine. So really gaining confidence is by going for it and changing the self-beliefs about the self-confidence. Does it make sense?
Totally, man. What you actually mentioned with James Bond and movies and everything is like we have the expectation that everything will go well, but actually in reality you will fail so many times before you actually succeed. And so I just love, like before I was also, like you said, dependent on the goal and the outcome, and if I fail I might say to myself, oh my god, I just suck at this, man. But actually we just improve and we get better, over time, if we keep on doing it and doing it and doing it. And so now I say, okay, if I fail, I fail, but next time I will get better because I know what I've done wrong. And so yeah, but you shouldn't make the same mistake twice, because then you'll just there's a quote from Einstein, I think. He says, if you keep on doing the same thing over and over again with the same strategy, that is like insanity, right? So
yeah, if you do the same thing over and over and expect to get different results, you are insane.
Exactly. See, you know it better than me. So yeah, talking about energy and positivity, I think that these two things actually help you, gain self-confidence as well. If you don't have the energy and you're like, oh, you know what, you don't really have the self-confidence. So my question to you is, what do you actually do to give yourself or where you get energy and positivity? Do you have like a morning routine, or what activities do you do?
Yeah. That's an awesome question, man. So energy and positivity, that's like energy. We are a source of energy, like we are coming from energy. And I think the strongest energy, that the deepest core of human being as we were born, our energy is love. We came from love, okay? Now today the love it's more like relationships, loving other people. But we are, as an entity, as an energy, we are all started from the beginning as a love. We are love for people, for the world, for our family. And really what I gain, like morning routines, yes, I do have morning routines, but that's not the source of my energy. That's give me a positive morning routine. I do cool stuff. I drink my water with lemon and meditate. I do my gratitude journal, which is, I'm sure a lot of people do, and that's a really good things. I have a breakfast, healthy breakfast. I will read a book, that's all the things that I do that are helping me to get my energy to a get high level, so I can go on my day and get the stuff done what I want to do. But the source for this, for me to be able to do those things, are my love and my way of thinking. My way of being is being love for myself, for my family, for the world, for people, for everything. That's my source energy, is just love, wanting to do good, wanting to do something great, something good. All what I do in my days, especially with my YouTube channel, Better Every Day, is I want to contribute, I want to give to the world, I want to leave a positive impact, I want to do something great for people that people can enjoy. And knowing that's my source, that's what I really want to do, that's what I love doing, and I know it's real for me, and I connect to it every day. But when I pray every day. When I do meditate, when I don't meditate, I don't, but I meditate every day, other than when I skip a day or two. I pray, and I pray for the world, for love. I'm sending everyone love. I sending everybody hugs. Nobody can see, maybe some can feel, maybe they don't, but everything I do it from love. And
Wow.
my question to the energy is like, everybody want to connect to their why they do what they do. Why do you go for work and make money? Why do you spend on the why do you talk with friends? Why you hang out with them? Why you do what you do every day? Why? A lot of time we are in this world, especially, it's so busy, social media, everything is very superficial in a way. It's like, yeah, I want to be like, again, James Bond, I guess, or I want to be the guy, like the rich guy. Why do you want to be rich? Just to be rich like everybody else? That we'll get lost as far as who we are and why we do what we do. And then we like, okay, a great mentor of mine say, you cannot have enough of what you don't want. So a lot of time we get stuck as, okay, so what I put in my hand. So there is two places I think we live from. We live from our mind and from our heart. What we really want, the source of us is from our hearts. And where we live most of the time is in our minds, 95%. And then what we actually want is in our heart, but we don't listen to our heart because our mind is so loud. And so we get stuck in wanting stuff that we don't really want, doing stuff we don't really want, and then trying to have energies doing those things that we actually don't want. And then we don't have energy, and then we are confused why we do not have energies. The answer to that would be because we are not going for what we actually want. We don't know why we do the things we do. We don't know why it is important for us, and why, like, you know what I mean? We're just not connected a lot of time. I was not connected. I was going for stuff I didn't want to do, and I was doing good at them, and it never fulfilled me. So, for example, doing money, I had a business that would make me good money, but I was never fulfilled. I could buy stuff, I could buy a nice car, I could buy nice things, go on vacations, but I was never fulfilled. I was never happy. And I was hella confused, because all my life growing up, I believed that's what will make me happy. That's what will make me like fulfilled. Finally, I will be able to yes, celebrate. And no, I was depressed. And then I started my journey into discovering what I actually want to do. And when I know why I want to do, that's when it give me energies, give me the power to go in the set downs, in the setbacks, in the moments when I don't feel, when it just doesn't work for me as well. There is a fire that burning inside of me that kind of get me going. No giving up. Keep going. I don't even care about the outcomes. As far as I know, I'm connected to my why, to my love for people, for the world, for what I'm doing. That's what gives me the energy and the positivity.
That is very well said, man. I love your attitude and how you go about things, connecting love with the world and everything that you do. That's why you like to give. And I think that is one of your passions, right? So talking about passion right now, or purpose rather, a lot of people might not know what their passion is, and they might ask themselves, what is their purpose, what should they do in life? And that might also bring down their confidence, because they don't know what the heck they should do. So my question to you is, what advice would you give to them?
So they can find their passion or purpose. So it's so funny, I actually just made a post about it on my Instagram a couple of days ago, I believe. So first thing, when I ask this question, when somebody looking for doing something, the first question I would ask them, and an example that I met somebody sometime in the summer in a coffee shop, and we started talking about, just chit chat, and then I asked him, what do you want to do? He said, I want to write a book. I'm like, okay. And then he said, but it doesn't work as well, it doesn't go well as I wanted to. I'm like, okay, how much time do you spend writing a day? He's like, oh, I haven't wrote down anything for a couple months. I'm like, oh, okay, and you want to do that. So my first question to anybody who want to find their passion or purpose, how much time you actually really spend in like thinking about it, writing stuff on a paper, trying stuff. Because we can find our purpose, our passion by actually trying to. But if we just like, spending time on social media, I don't know, watching movies, hanging out with friends, most of the day, it's like, we can find what we actually do by what we spend our time on. And if somebody will come to me, like this question, it's a good question, but I think the question would be, okay, the people who spend 4 or 5 hours a day trying to find their purpose and they cannot find it, what would you suggest to them to do? Because people would ask like, yeah, how would I find my purpose? How much time did you spend on that? How much time you actually spend on that? We are like nowadays, we're looking for the quick solution. Somebody will tell me some magical secret word that as I hear this word, I will know what my purpose is. It's not existing. It's not gonna happen. Like we actually wanna spend at least 20 minutes a day. Somebody will come to me and say, oh, I spent 20 minutes a day trying to figure out what is my passion and my purpose, and I did it for 2 months and I couldn't figure it out. Then we will start looking and like, yeah, let's see what we can do. I will ask questions, But a lot of time I think people ask like, yeah, I don't know. So really my advice is to actually start taking actions inside of that, because it will not appear. And the most important, very important inside of that, when you start spending time and looking, I would say again what I've just said before, look for your heart, because we do have the answer in our heart what we want to do. Our heart tells us what we want to do very quietly. We cannot hear it because our mind is so loud, but we still can hear it. But we have to really connect to it. If we spend time in quieting our mind through meditation, through just by yourself in a room for half an hour and trying to figure out and ask yourself this question before you go to sleep, or just in a quiet room, what is it that I want to do? We will be able to hear it. We will be able to hear the heart tells us, okay, that's what you want to do really. And then the mind will kick in and will try to talk us like, no, we will do that. It's not economically smart to do. There is not much money in it. I don't know if I want to put all this work into doing that, blah, blah, blah. The mind will do its jobs and try to mess up with us. But the answer is here in the heart. So, yeah, that would be my advice, to start spending time in actually doing something to find out the purpose, and trying to listen to your heart. You will feel it. When you feel something from your heart, you can feel it. It's not here. It's here. It's a very hard. It took me months to understand what does it mean to listen to my heart and not to my mind. It took me a lot of time. But as somebody start actually taking the actions and doing something about it, within just few months you will be able to hear and listen to your heart actually.
Wow. That would that would have been my next question. How do you actually distinguish between what your mind is saying and what your heart is saying? Like, how do you know, oh, is that really my heart or is that my mind saying things? But you just said it, if you explore and do things, then you kind of get the feeling, and then you will know what the difference really is. Is it your heart and your mind? But I think it will take some time. But yeah, that is really interesting. I've never really looked at that way. I mean, I hear it a lot of times from people. Listen to your heart, not your mind, and saying, you're like, well, how? Like, your heart is not saying anything, but like you said, it takes time and you can feel it in a way.
The heart is saying to us stuff, but we just been so programmed, so conditioned, in the school system, with the TV, with the movies, that we are so hooked on thinking from here and wanting to be what others appears to be cool thing, we want to be like the movie stars, we want to be like all those professions like doctors, lawyers, a firefighter, a police, because those are good pays and a good, like benefits works. Like everybody looking for those kind of easy solutions to fit society, to fit the world, to fit and to look good, really. But there is not much of risk taking in listening to our heart. That's where it's kind of risky, I would say. When you listen, it's kind of risky. It's something that it's not as safe. A lot of time, most people looking for a safe route. They want to be in security. They want to find security for their life. They want it to be as easiest, as the most comfortable, as less risk as possible. So for me, for example, what I'm gonna do now is being coach is like it's risky for me because I don't know if I'm gonna be good or not at it. I don't know how much money I can make and if I can make a living of it. I have no idea. It's not like if I would go and study something, I will go study, I don't know, I will be a mechanic or I will be a doctor. I will finish studying and I know my life will be okay. It's pretty safe route. If you just go study, get it done, get your certificates, you will have a good paid jobs. You can live okay. But it's kind of risky. So that's another thing that the mind do is like telling us, oh, it's too risky. No, let's go for the safe route. So we always go for the safe route. As less damage, as less risk. And so that's kind of why our mind is so loud, and that's why I'm saying it's so loud. It's not really loud as volume, but it just talks so much about against what we actually feel here, because it's risky. It's gonna be uncomfortable. It's gonna take something. It's gonna take courage and confidence.
I mean, like you said, we were kind of conditioned by the society, what they expect from us and how we should live. And maybe that is one of the reasons why our brain or our mind is constantly telling us, oh, are you sure that you should be doing this? Look what others are kind of saying and what they're trying to like prevent you from doing. And it is hard because we have been living like this for quite some time. But when you really sit down and listen to your mind, like you said, through meditation and stuff, you actually can see, oh, that is actually the mind trying to like stop you. It's like the how do you say, the monkey mind, or yeah. So it's like, no, don't do it, it's too risky. But we once, like for you, in your case, you kind of figured out that coaching or being a life coach is something that you're really passionate about, and it's like your calling. Of course, it's gonna be risky, it's gonna be insecure and all of that because you've maybe never done it before. It's not the traditional way of doing things, and so your brain or your mind is telling you, don't do it, bro, don't do it, man. But once you listen to your heart, you gotta do it, right? So yeah, still, I wish you the best of luck, brother. I know you can do it. You can do it. Talking about, Aristotle always said, like, we are what we repeatedly do, hence the habits that we form. And in order to have these good habits, we need to self-discipline ourselves, like have a great self-discipline. Now, my question to you is, how do you actually get this self-discipline? Like, having good habits is okay, maybe hard at first. Once you get the good habits rolling, okay, but then the difficult part about it is, being persistent and doing it for over months and years to come. Now, there might be failures, there might be something, an obstacle that is trying to like tell you, okay, come on, do the bad habit again. Like you're doing the good habit, it's not working, and you're like, it's trying to distract you. So my question to you, like I said, is how do you have this self-discipline? What do you actually do?
Okay. So self-discipline, it's very interesting question. It's like a big, we all know self-discipline, it's a key, it's a must. You cannot have, without discipline, without taking action consistently, you cannot achieve anything. So really, for me, what it comes down to, how to have self-discipline and how I have self-discipline, it's the word integrity. Integrity. What is integrity? It's, I say something I want to do, I have to follow up with. Okay, now that's just very contextual. We need to discover, everybody need to discover their relationship to their own word. Because look, it's so funny. Like I growing up, I used to smoke cigarettes. Okay, so I smoked cigarettes, and I tried quitting smoking for so long, for many time. I'm like, okay, I will try it this time, I will try it this time, I will try it this time, and it never worked. But in reality, what stopped me from quitting smoking is just me saying to myself, I wanna stop. That's again kind of coming back to the heart, and my mind like, no, I wanna smoke. Let's do it now. I love smoking with the coffee. I love smoking blah blah blah. So it's just like integrity for myself as far as what I see to myself. So I train my word. I have integrity to train my integrity to myself. When I say something, I'm gonna do it. And inside of that, a lot of time there is like instead of taking actions, we a lot of time, oh, I don't feel like, or I don't think. So discipline for me, it's whatever I know I need to do, I'm gonna do it, regardless of how I feel or think about it. If I know I want to go to the gym, I'm gonna go to the gym even though I don't feel like it. So how to gain self-confidence? It's really actually getting stuff done. We are like so, like it's building the relationship for you to your word. As like our word, what we say and what people do is like blah, it's like a mess. But when we start connecting our word to our action, it's like whatever I say I'm gonna do it. Like the question you ask me, I can give you some tricks. Accountability, do a to-do list, have someone to hold you accountable. Those are like tricks to build on top of the mess that created in a lack of integrity. It's like some kind of techniques to try to fix the core problem. The core problem, the deepest everybody want to go, is to work on their integrity. Because if you have integrity, you have everything. If you say I want to go 5 times to the gym a week, you will go 5 times to the gym a week, and you will figure it out. You might not feel like it, you might have excuses and reasons or blah blah blah, but you will go. So first thing I would say, how to build a habit is just keep working on your integrity. Just and it's just so important. Like I can talk about it for an hours, like why and how it is so important, but really the relationship for our word, because nobody stops us but us. We are our own enemy. It's kind of annoying in the personal development world. We are our own enemy, but because we don't have integrity. If we have integrity and we have a solid word in everything we will do, we will excel in everything in our life, in our own life, everything we are up to. In business, imagine people that you are interacting with and hanging out with, and potential business partners will know you as someone who have integrity. Everything that he said from his mouth that coming up, it will happen. It will happen in existence. It will not be just a word that come out to the air. It will just actually happen. And if people know you as that, and know everybody as that, then imagine how many more opportunities will open up for you as business opportunities. I don't know. Like you see, and it's like very beautiful, because a lot of people might actually have a good opportunities for a lot of people. People like struggling financially a lot of times, and maybe there is friends and people they know, they actually have a good opportunities and they're looking for somebody to join them. But a lot of people, they don't have integrity, they don't have word, their word mean nothing. So people not even come to them, and they don't even know about all the opportunities that exists around them. So the discipline is just getting stuff done. It's just like, have a list, a to-do list. I have a board, like stuff I want to get done, and I'm checking them every day. Like what I do, I check it. And sometimes I miss, sometimes I miss. We cannot be 100%. It's not like being 100%. There is no such a thing. But as I follow up at least like 70-80% with what I want to do and say I will do, magic happens in life, and when I don't like step over that. I will figure out something for myself. I will learn how to not do it again. I will communicate to the other person if I need to. Okay, I said I will do that, I didn't. Next time I will make sure I will do that. Like not step over and kind of put in the back, like, oh, I don't care, I don't know, like nothing happened. So really, as far as discipline, it's just like, yeah, just relationship to the world and just taking actions, not what I think. What we are not our thoughts and feelings. We are not our mind. We are here. Our heart tells us, like, just like when I tried to stop smoking cigarettes, somewhere inside of me told me I want to stop, and something inside of here told me no, don't. So we have like this constant battle between the heart and the mind. Not knowing we all what we want to do come from here, and everything that talks us out of it is from here. But still, look, I'm going back to the heart and mind because it's always going to be there. It's just like learning how to connect the heart and do it anyway. And and that's the discipline. Through that, you can build discipline easily.
Yeah, you just you said it a couple of times that we will not feel like it from time to time, and that's exactly because if we for example have bad habits, let's say like you with the smoking thing, and you say, okay, I want to quit smoking, right? You got to build that good habit, and because you're addicted to it, you will not feel like it. So your brain is like you say, it's a really great analogy with the heart and your mind, because your heart says don't smoke, and your mind says, come on, man, just a little bit, just one more time. That nicotine, man, it's great for you. But you just gotta push through, and it's like cliche, and it's going to be difficult. I like when I watch videos or read blogs about like self-discipline or building good habits. The truth is, the beginning, it's always going to be difficult. It's like going to a gym at the beginning. You want to build up muscles at the beginning, is gonna it's gonna be painful. It's going to be the most painful out of if you go often, then okay, you still have pain, but it's not that painful like at the beginning. So it's going to be tough, challenging, but like you said, listen to your heart, and just with your brain and mind, you just gotta have that conflict and talk with your mind. Say, no, mind, don't. And if it's still like wins over you, like what I like, because this has happened to me a couple of times where my mind just wins over me instead of me like taking control, then I would find other strategies what works for me best. But people sometimes give up. I have given up in the past as well, but I like what Tony Robbins says is like, stay like committed to your goal. For example, your goal is to quit smoking, but stay flexible in your approach. So if you say like, okay, this approach did not work, then you got to find other ways until it works, right? So yeah, getting too much talk here, interviewing myself. But yeah, overall, I really love the analogy with the mind and the heart. So yeah, talking about goals now, how do you actually set goals, and how do you track them? Do you do it weekly, monthly, or yearly? And what do you actually do in dark times when things don't go your way according to your goals or your plans or whatever?
Yeah, okay. So honestly, I'm a little bit weird about these goals, like setting up goals. At least in the last 2 3 years, because I changed from being very insecure, confident guy, having terrible life, to now moving towards, okay, I am all that. I am confident. I can do whatever I want. I have more self-love, more self-belief. Okay, now I know. So the last 2 3 years, I went everywhere. I did all the stuff. I did public speaking, improv classes, courses, leadership courses. What else I did? Like literally everything I can go and kind of work on my confidence. Go out, talk to people, talk to girls. Go out by myself. travel by myself, do all those like challenging confidence, and I have no one goal in mind. Just kind of like throw myself everywhere, trying different stuff, trying just kind of building myself as a person. And I actually just started doing goals now when I know now I can do anything I want. And I have this confidence and like I know it's gonna get done. Now I'm starting to let's see where I want to be 5 years from now. When I have like this 5 years from now, just putting like my hands. So I want to be here 5 years from now, and so I build now plans backward. So if that's where I want to be 5 years, I'm 4 years I will be there. 3 years I will be here. In 1 year, in 2 years, and 1 year I will be here. So I'm kind of breaking it down yearly and then even weekly. But that's kind of how now I have a very vague. I have a goal as far as my business coach. That's something that I'm developing now, and that's how I did it. Where I want to be 5 years. And I didn't get to the weekly, but that's something that is going to happen soon. Really, I'm not the best person to ask about goals because I didn't master it. I just kind of went everywhere, full actions, full on. I'm really taking a lot of actions in life. So I didn't feel like I need to set myself for goals. I'm just like, I'm going to go full power everywhere.
Yeah.
Taking massive actions everywhere. So there was no like the point like direction. So I'm like all over the place. It might not be the best thing to go, the best way to go about it. Nowadays, I'm starting, I know how to set up goals. Like, I just set the 5 years and kind of breaking it down back to the reverse engineering goal. So that's kind of how I'm going about it now. But before, I did not do that.
Yeah, me too, to be honest. I just always said, make the best out of each and every day. Now I try to make more goals like financially, because that was like, or that is like kind of my weakest thing that I have to work on. So that is something where I like set goals now. But concerning, for example, YouTube, and I talked about this with you earlier, or Instagram, like with the subscriber count, I don't really have a goal concerning that. I just say let the market decide and make the best out of what I am capable of doing, because I see it as a business, like even with YouTube or Instagram, whatever you do. And you cannot say like, okay, hey, within 2 years I want to have 50,000 subscribers, and if the market doesn't want you, you cannot set goals like that, right? That is just how I see it. Maybe you see it differently, but I just say like, okay, I'm going to make the best. I'm going to put myself out there. But hey, if the market says, yo, no, man, you're not worth it, then I got to accept it and I got to adapt. But that's how I see it. It might be pessimistic in a way, like, oh, why don't you like set a goal like for saying, hey, at that time I want to have 50,000 subscribers. But again, that's just how I see it. How do you see it actually?
Yeah, just kind of from what you said, I can see how you and me, we have somewhat the same approach before. Like same approach, kind of let's go and see how it happened. And I feel like it's a very magical, it's kind of very interesting kind of approach. Kind of let it happen. Like whatever should need to happen will happen. Kind of wishfulness, kind of thinking. It's very positive and nice. And that's how I approach it. But I'm now starting to see very well, very clearly, value of actually setting up goals. Because when I started setting up goals, I could see my actions changed. Okay, now I have a goals. Now I know where I need to be. So my action will be more consistent with that. There is a direction. There is like a map to where I want to go. Compared to I know what I did and kind of what you do is just kind of all over the place. We're going to do this, we're going to do that, and see what happens. It's magical, it's fun, it's very authentic, it's very good, but I now see more value in like actually having a goal. So that's kind of something I'm starting to do more often nowadays. Actually go towards that because it's more focused, and I found my actions are more focused and more effective.
Yeah.
be more effective the goals may go compared to the kind of being all over the place. So,
I mean,
fun approach we have, and I do see the value of doing it.
I mean, don't get me wrong. I'm not saying like, for example, specifically talking about YouTube and Instagram now. I'm not saying like I will do it, and if I don't get that much or that many subscribers, then I will quit. That's not what I'm saying. I'm like, I'm still committed. I just, I see. I will have to evaluate and see how I can make it better and improve and adapt to what the market wants, what people want. Because at the end of the day, I and you, we're giving our value to the people. And for instance, on Instagram, I do my comedy stuff, and if I say, hey, this is funny, which I think it's funny, but if the people say, oh, it's not funny, then I cannot expect, like what we said earlier with the Einstein quote, right? If you keep on doing the same thing and expect for results, you're like insane. So yeah, that is what I'm saying. But I totally agree with you on setting goals, because it gives you like a guideline, a road, and your actions will also then match up to that goal. Yeah, but what do you actually do in dark times when these goals did not, you did not accomplish these goals? What do you do then?
Yeah, it's beautiful. My last video on my YouTube was exactly for this topic: what to do when you feel stuck.
Oh, nice.
And it's beautiful. So the way I approached it, when we get stuck in life, is when we are up to something. For example, I'm up to achieve 1 million subscribers on YouTube. I'm not reaching it, so I'm in a challenge. But I reached this challenge on top of me wanting to reach the 1 million subscribers. Now, if I didn't want any goals, any dreams, anything that I desire to have, then I will never reach any challenges. I will never be stuck, or I will never have those dark days, because I'm like, I have no anything that I'm up to. It's like living this flat life. So I approach it, instead of actually being negative about the dark time, for me it's actually positive, because when I move from point A to point B, I'm gonna hit walls. When I hit walls, it means, okay, that's like my opportunity. That's like, firstly, I discover something that I'm being stopped at, something that I need to work on me as personality, as myself, kind of to learn how to overcome that. When I overcome that, I can, put it in the back, and now I can move forward. And I actually reached actually good. So for me, my approach is actually, those dark times are actually good. I'm happy to get to those times, because if everything goes nice and smooth, then I'm not improving. But when I hit the wall, it's a chance for me to level up, to overcome where I'm stuck at, where my ability as I am right now, I'm not able, I'm being stuck. There's something that I cannot do, or I'm not doing well. So that's just really my opportunity to actually take this weakness and turn it into a strength and move forward. But really, my approach for those dark days is like very positive. I'm happy to be there. I'm happy because I have opportunity to grow and develop this. So I'm not self-sabotaging, I'm not going to like self-pity, and I'm not giving up. I'm like, yes, thank you. Now I can go, I can overcome this, I can break this wall and keep moving forward. Now keep going, and I will know that that's in my past. That's what happened. I was stopped, I overcome it. So I know I can overcome anything else overcome it.
No, that is really, really interesting, man. I guess you said it yourself, it's the way we perceive it. And if you say, oh, this is an opportunity for you to grow, to learn, to improve, rather than, oh man, why did this happen to me? Man, this just sucks. Like, just how we question it already answers, it gives us either good or bad answers. Like, I'm going to quote Tony Robbins again, but he also says, like, it depends on which question we actually ask ourselves, we're going to get that answer, because your mind will find an answer to that. So if we, for example, ask ourselves, why does this happen to me? then our mind will say, oh, because you suck, oh, because you're bad, oh, and then we get in this, you know, bad loop, instead of like, oh, what does this actually mean? How can I make this better? Then your brain comes up with a solution. So yeah, that's like really powerful. When I first heard that, like, it depends on the question we actually ask ourselves, I'm like, wow, so simple but yet so effective, right? But yeah, anyway, do you actually visualize? Do you do like visualization exercises? And if yes, when do you do them and how do you do them?
I do them mainly in the morning, but when sometimes I wake up a little late or have too much stuff to do, so I will do them before I go to sleep. So usually in the morning, I wake up, just, get myself kind of awake state, and then I go to the meditation. So I do three types of meditations. I do just the regular quieting the mind, just being silent. Second one is I do affirmations. So I will just affirmation of myself. I'm confident. I'm this. I'm that, and some all kind of affirmations, wishfulness thinking kind of forward and affirming who I am. And the last one is visualizations. So yeah, I do them usually in the morning, possibly.
Okay, and how do you actually do these visualization? Do you like you close your eyes and then you think of the, you know, state that you want to be in, or the ultimate goal, or how do you actually go about that?
Yeah. So what I do first 2 minutes, I don't have time in front of me, but approximately first 2 minutes I just get present, my body, get relaxed, get present. Then I start in seeing where is it that I want to be. Starting seeing me being in the building, I think visualizing like where I'm at, the people I'm with. I visualize like the talks, the conversations, and like I can smell, I can smell the food, I can smell the food. I'm really trying. I think the best part about visualization, when it's the most effective, it's when we use all the senses. So eyes, we can see something, we can hear stuff, and we can smell stuff. But maybe even when you taste stuff. The conversation we are having, the place I am in, how I'm driving, or being in like, the big room of people, like giving a public speak, I imagine like this huge stadium, and I see a bunch of people around, like clapping, and it's lights in my eyes. So I'm trying to like detail as detailed as possible.
Wow. And you do this in every field, like for instance, you just kind of described you being on stage and public speaking, I'm assuming. Do you actually do this visualization with everything, like love, happiness, wealth?
Yes, wealth, love, yeah.
Oh,
It's
okay.
crazy. It's like I visualize the girl, that kind of see my type, like physically, and kind of how she is as a person. I visualized her, and the next day I saw her. Like I don't know how to explain it.
Wow.
But I literally met her, and we connected so well, and we were like talking. It didn't work because she had to go back to Greece, but it was my mind was blowing. I was like visualize her. I could literally see her so clearly, and we literally met the next day.
Wow. But the thing is, yeah, I'm really happy for you that it actually worked, man. It sounds like a miracle, actually. But yeah, talking about visualization, I think, this visualization, it gets us pumped up, right? So once we do all of this, like maybe in the evening or morning, I think it is also crucial and important to also take action towards it, because then whatever we visualize will then come to us, right? Am I wrong, or is that how it works?
100%. I mean, we have to. Okay. It's like the actions, it's just like the discipline, we talk about the discipline. The action is a must part of actually doing stuff. Just I think the visualizing is like allowing us to believe, because as stronger we believe in what we actually think about, the more chances that it would happen. and the more we believe and we will do it, it will just more likely to happen. So if I met this girl and I didn't believe it, there is a chance for it to meet, I will behave weirdly, and we might not connect. But because I actually believed so strongly that I will meet her, and it's not happening all the time. It's like it's still a process. It's like sometimes we have doubt, as there is a tiny bit of a doubt about something, it's gone, it's all gone. So sometimes it's just like this strong, the focusedness, the kind of being focused on this thing that you believe, and believe truly without tiny bit of a doubt about it. That's when stuff starting to happen. And it's very hard, and it doesn't always work for me, but when it works, it's magical. And yeah, actions, just actions. If I believe that I want to be there with you in the same room, I can believe as much as I want, but it won't happen. Or if I will take a plane and I will fly to Germany and I will be there with you.
Yeah. No, totally, man. Like I recently interviewed Russell from Trending Topic, and he actually talked about also visualization, but not only the successes, because normally what we do, I personally don't visualize, but since I interviewed a lot of people and they do visualization, I'm also going to incorporate that into my daily routine. But talking about Russell, what he said is not only visualizing the successes, but also the failure, so that this way we're also kind of prepared for those events. And now that was really, really interesting, because I've never heard it from anyone else before, but it does kind of make sense in a way. Do you actually also do that?
No. I mean, for me, it doesn't make sense. I don't want to take away from it. I've never done it. I'm sure you know what it talks about. But for me, failure is like a valuable part, like important part of success. So I'm visualizing only success, and when I fail, it's just okay for me. It's not anything bad. I'm not being stopped by that. So I don't see why I need to visualize and be prepared for it. I know in my mindsets that failure is fine, it's good, it's a big part, and that's my way. Every time I fail, it's get me closer to my goal. So for me, it's I know I want that to happen to me. So I don't see why I would visualize failure.
I guess the whole point of it is because we said it earlier that whatever we do, we will face failures, and because people, we expect a lot, right? And once we hit failures, we say, okay, you know what, this goal that I have, it won't come to reality anyway, and you keep on failing, and you say, no, this is not for me, this goal is, but this way, if you kind of prepare yourself for it, it doesn't mean that, you should fail the entire time. You still visualize the success, but also kind of like what could go wrong. And this way you're kind of prepared and know how you should deal with this failure in order to reach or get that success. So in a way, I think that is how he actually meant when you visualize failure.
Of these for people who are afraid to fail. For people who are not taking action because they are afraid to fail or to look bad. So I can see how it will be very valuable for someone like that to because if you're afraid of it, you just visualize it and like, oh, okay, you already been there. It's kind of you reliving it. It's like you already had it happen to you, right?
Yeah.
But I don't see it for myself, but I see how it will be very valuable for whoever needs that.
All right, dude. Again, you talking about your heart and the mind, I'm just thinking about it. It's like such a great analogy. But anyway, now we're going to talk about books, man. Whew, that was a great segue. So your favorite book concerning mindset?
Oh, mindset. So again, I'm gonna connect it. There are so many books. Like it's so hard to really my take about books. I read a lot of comments of people saying, the people that don't like reading self-help books, that's the books I love reading the most. And they say, oh, all those self books are the same, blah blah blah. But the thing is, all those self books are the same because they're all so good and so important. And people read books so much and will not take actions. We think a lot of time we will read a book and then magic will happen, everything will go well, and it doesn't, because we don't take action. And so then we complain and put a blame about those books. All those books are the same, all those techniques are the same, but people actually do not take the actions consistent with what they learned and read in the book. So that's really my main kind of, there are so many books that are so good, they are so similar. Everybody, at the end of the day, we are, as human beings, everything, it's the same. The ways that works and ways that don't work, they are the same ways. And people, all the books have a different approaches to the same thing, with the different life experiences. They come with the different analogies, different stories, different life experiences, and they approach it in the same way. So really, all the books are about the same. It's all started from thousands of years ago, from the ancient learning, So that's kind of all the books. So, what was the question? The favorite book about mindset? As far as mind and heart, I would say The Power of Now. One of my favorite books so far. One of the top 3 for sure. The Power of Now. It talks a lot about the ego, the talking mind, and the heart, and what to listen to and how to live in the moment. So that's a very, very powerful book. I'm trying to read it once a year. I read it twice already. This year I'm going to read it again. The 7 Habits, all those classics. The 7 Habits of Highly Effective People are very good. There is so many books that are all depends what people want, but
Okay, now that mindset book that you just recommended, The Power of Now, I can also recommend that. I've also read that from Eckhart Tolle, right? I think that's how you pronounce his name. For those of you who are into mindfulness meditation, I know why I'm talking about this, but The Power of Now, the book, just kind of reminds me of that. Is mindfulness in plain English. I don't know if you've ever read that book, but if you're really into mindfulness meditation, as a beginner, I really recommend that book. Anyway, I don't know why I just said this, but somehow it just reminded me of that book. Anyway, now talking about your favorite book concerning productivity.
Yeah, so The 7 Habits of Highly Effective People. It's a very, very good book, yeah. A very good book to work.
Before we get to the last question, brother, tell my people how they can connect with you further.
Okay, so I have a YouTube channel. It's called Better Every Day. Instagram, Genadi Brodowski. If you go on my YouTube channel, there is links somewhere there. I have a Facebook account, Genadi Brodowski, as well. As for now, that's the main ways. You can have them. You can add them in your description. I can send them to you.
Yeah.
So the Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube.
Awesome, bro. Now, our last final question. Then you can go. So, as you know, my YouTube channel is all about mastering your mind to gain self-confidence, self-esteem. And we already talked about self-confidence, self-esteem. Now I want to ask you, what was the one revelation or one activity that helped you master your mind to gain that self-confidence? What was that one revelation or activity that has helped you the most?
Okay, so the thing when that changed, what changed for me is one day when I was in a bad place, and there was this one day when something happened in my life, and I said to myself, okay, I'm going to change it, and I'm gonna do whatever it takes to change myself to become who I want to become, and I don't care how. So I'm gonna change or I'm gonna die trying. So this one moment, this one event that I told myself, I promised, I committed to my life. I committed to myself. I said to myself, I'm going to take control of my life. I'm gonna live my life how I want to live my life. I'm gonna sit in the driver's seat of my life, and I'm gonna do whatever it takes together. So this one moment that happened is me getting tired of living a bullshit life, living a life that I hate, sleeping and kind of self-sabotaging with this negative voice, and kind of, beating myself, bam, bam, with all those bad words. I'm not worthy, I'm not gonna get it, I'm not deserving of anything, I'm just like piece of garbage, I'm not worth being in this world. And say to myself, okay, I'm gonna change it, and I'm gonna do whatever it takes to move forward. So that was my only that was the moment when actually something changed, when I decided, okay, I'm gonna do it, and I don't care how it's gonna look, and I'm committed fully. And it's been 4 years, so it's 3.5, 4 years, and I'm consistent with that. I'm keeping to move forward, and I'm unstoppable. Nothing gonna stop me.
That is awesome, bro. That actually reminds me of, again, I quote a lot of Tony Robbins, but he's one of my, let's say, mentors, quote unquote. And he also says, like, your worst day can become like your best day. And you lived all of that bad life, and that kind of made you decide, okay, you know what, you don't want this anymore. You want to, you had enough of it, and boom, you're committed to changing yourself. And I'm really happy for you, man. And now you're doing your YouTube, you're sharing your message with others, and you're trying to help them as much as you can. And I'm really grateful that you exist, that we together are helping, others. And so thank you again, brother, for being here, for sharing your knowledge with me, with my people. And guys, tell me, what was your favorite advice from here, Mr. James Bond? I'm going to call him, I don't know why, but you talked about James Bond. Now I'm just thinking of like, okay, this guy, he's the next James Bond. My mind is sometimes a bit weird. Anyway, guys, my favorite advice was, you have your heart, your mind, and you should listen to your heart more than your mind. And it is difficult, but if you do like mindfulness meditation or meditation in general, calming your mind and actually listening to what your mind says, you will be able to distinguish it and get to what your heart is trying to tell you. Remember, guys, that you are freaking awesome, and that you can do it if you put your mind to it. Winnie out for now.